the Storykeeper's Library proudly presents
Fairy Tales by Hans Christian Andersen. The Emperor's New Clothes. Many years ago, there was an emperor who had a new suit of clothes for every hour. He cared nothing for anything but new clothes. On a certain day, two men arrived in the town and gave out that they were weavers, and that they had a most wonderful fabric that was so fine that it could not be seen by anyone who was stupid or who was not fit for his position. The emperor sent for them to weave and make him a suit of clothes of the wonderful cloth, for, said he, it will show me who are unfit among my officers. So the two men set up their looms, and they worked away at them when anyone was near. But they worked in the air, for there was nothing at all in the looms. The emperor sent in his prime minister to look at the cloth. The two rogues were very polite. They wished him to step nearer, and inquired whether he did not think the pattern very pretty and the colours brilliant. "Good gracious," he said to himself, "am I becoming stupid or unfit for my position?" "Now what do you think of our work?" asked the two weavers. "Oh, it is beautiful, lovely," said the bewildered old gentleman, looking through his spectacles. "I shall tell the emperor I approve of all I have seen very much." After this the impostors applied for money in advance and more gold and silken thread, which they readily obtained and stowed away in a box. Then they continued their pretended work at the looms, but not a single thread was used. The emperor soon after sent another statesman to see how their weaving was going on, and to inquire whether the stuff would soon be ready. But it was exactly the same with him as with the first. He almost made himself half blind with looking, but as there was nothing on the looms, he could see nothing. "I am not stupid," said the man to himself. "I suppose, therefore, I am not fitted for my situation. That, however, is a ridiculous idea, but I must not say a word about it to anyone." So he praised the tissue he could not see. "It really is lovely," he said. Everyone in the city talked about the beautiful fabric, and then the emperor expressed a wish to see for himself what this wonderful stuff was like. He approached the looms at which the two artful impostors were working with all their might, although there was not a single thread on the looms. "How is this?" said the emperor to himself. "I can see nothing. Really, this is dreadful. Am I stupid? Am I, as emperor, unfit for my position? It would be the most dreadful thing if that could happen to me. Oh, really, it is very beautiful," he said aloud. "It merits my highest approval." The whole suite who were with him looked and looked, and could make no more of it than the others. But they said after the emperor, "Yes, it is very pretty." They advised him to wear the magnificent dress for the first time in the great procession which was about to take place. The whole night through, before the day when the procession was to take place, the two swindlers were up and stirring. They had lighted 16 candles, and all the townspeople could see how hard they were working to finish the emperor's new clothes. They pretended to take the cloth down from the looms. They cut with great scissors in the air. They sewed with needles which had no thread in them, and at last they said, "The clothes are ready." The emperor came himself with his most distinguished nobles, and the swindlers lifted up one arm high in the air, as if they were holding something, and said, "Look, here are the trousers, here is the coat, here is the mantle," and so on. "It is as light and fine as cobweb. One would think one had nothing on, but that is just the beauty of it. May it please your Imperial Majesty graciously to take off your clothes," said the swindlers, "and we will put on your new clothes here before the large mirror." The emperor took off all his clothes, and the swindlers pretended to put on each separate article of the newly finished suit, while the emperor twisted and twirled about before the mirror. "How beautifully they fit!" exclaimed everybody. "What a splendid fit! What a pattern! And what colours!" "They are waiting outside, with the canopy which is to be held over your Majesty in the procession," announced the master of the ceremonies. "I am ready," said the emperor. "Doesn't it fit well?" Then he turned once more to the looking-glass, as if he were carefully examining his new costume. The chamberlains, who were to bear his train, pretended to lift up something from the floor. So the emperor walked in procession under the splendid canopy, and all the crowd, in the street and at the windows, exclaimed, "Look how incomparably beautiful the emperor's new clothes are! What a train he has, and how extremely well they fit!" No one would allow it for a moment that he could see nothing at all, for then he must either be considered stupid or unfit for his office. "But he has nothing on!" cried a little child at last. "Just listen to this little innocent," said its father, and one whispered to another what the child had said. "But he has nothing on!" shouted all the people at last. "Look at the emperor with no clothes on! How ridiculous he appears!" The emperor began to think the people were right, but he said to himself, "I must go through the procession, just as though I had." So the pages still pretended to carry the Emperor's train, although they knew there was no train to carry, and the Emperor marched along to the end as though he was wonderfully dressed.
Thank you for watching the Story Keeper's Library. Please like, comment, and share this video. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications to be the first to enjoy our latest content.